Good morning and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. I am on a mission to use all of my stuff. Well, maybe not all of it. We're going to use our stuff. That's what my mission is. Um, there's no way if you've. Oh, by the way, this video is just going to be a hodgepodge. It's just going to be a mess. I want to set your expectations so that you don't come in here thinking that I've got it all together because I do not. I am winging it day by day. That is how I live my life. But as I was going to say, if you've been following me for a bit, you know I went through a period of overbuying. The blunt truth of the matter is I used purchasing for my hobby as a way to make myself feel better during a time when I was very down about my personal life. And the reason for that was a lot of it was because of COVID. And my husband and I didn't see each other for 6 months. True story. He was in Canada, could not come across the border, and I was in the United States. So that's part of it. And I got in, it was for me. I'm not going to speak generally. For me, it became very easy to order online, click that buy button. When I was feeling upset, to pick up my phone and scroll and shop and buy. When we were allowed to get back out, one of the first places I visited was Tuesday morning, and I'm not a shopper. In my life, as a general rule, I really do not enjoy shopping. But for this hobby, I'll shop. And I did in that period of my life. I overbought. So I said all of that to give you some background because I have new subscribers who don't know. They're not watching all of these videos, and they don't know my history. So I just wanted to lay that groundwork for why I am where I am. And if you've seen my room tours, I have too much stuff. I have too much. I've already used more paper, 12 by 12 paper, so let me lay that groundwork. When I'm counting my paper on a project, I don't count anything except for 12 by 12 paper because that's what I have the most of. That is the area that I'm needing to make the biggest impact. So I have already used this year through May more paper than I used all of 2023. I'm super proud of that. And with using more paper comes the responsibility of doing something with those layouts. And it creates just another facet of our hobby. You know, we have to put them in either frames or in albums. You know, we have to have a way of storing them. So at a point in time later, and it may be next year because I'm home today, I just don't have a lot of weekends that I'm allowed to, or that I'm getting to be at home. So I don't want to set too many expectations about I'm going to do this on this date because y'all know how I am about my word. Once I give my word, I will hurt myself trying to make it happen. So it may be next year, but at some point in time, we'll talk about, putting away those layouts and what that looks like for me. I cannot speak for everyone. My thinking has evolved during this process dramatically. So I started this hobby in 1999 as I was going to keep every single layout because they were, it was our heritage story, and I was the documenter for my family, and you know, everything had to be archival and acid and lignin free, and because that's what I was taught. And then as time went by, I started leaning more into creating for myself, creating as an outlet and being artistic, trying different mediums, adding products that are not archival, like metal and wood, like wood veneer. So there's been an evolution. And I think that happens probably for the majority of us. We just evolve. And with my keeping And my purchasing, that had to evolve as well. I have purged a lot. A lot. I think, I don't want to say for certain because I know I've kept some things from my very beginning. But when I had to move from Alabama to New York, I still had things from when I first started scrapbooking in 1999. And I've pretty much gotten rid of all of that and have brought my inventory up to date at least within a decade. I'm going to say 90% of it is within a decade old. I've also really slowed down purchasing. Not because I want to, because I don't. I had to. But it's just a logical conclusion that I had to come to. I only have so much space. I have a very, very small craft room. It doesn't hold everything that I want. So I'm having to slow down purchasing, and I'm having to be very, very selective about what I purchase. So that's all the groundwork. Now, since I've been traveling, I have discovered a few things, and I thought that I used this paper pad during my June collection obsession. I pulled out more than half of it to use, and I have, of the ones that I pulled out for collection obsession, I have a couple pieces left. So I put those back, these two, yeah, and I put those back in here. So what I'm going to do is just tear this down, and while I'm tearing it down, I'll talk through why I'm keeping it for which side I'm keeping it for. So for this one, for example, I'm not fond of this at all, but I really like this. So this would go with my Vicki Boutin. It is a iconic Vicki Boutin style. So that will go with, I have a section in my room that is Vicki Boutin. I love her designs, and it's worth it to me to have a section, a cubby, that is just Vicki Boutin, because I tend to buy a lot of her products. So we're going to, the things I'm going to keep here in Vicki Boutin, and then let's say this one, for example, let's say I decide I want to keep the grid. That's going to go in a different place in my room. I like both sides of this. And I have two, so I can put one with Vicki Boutin, and I'm going to put this other one with the grids. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't slide off. So this is a very cool painterly design, and I've already used this as it is, as a background. But I like that. So we're going to keep that one there. This one is another, I like both sides, but I love this side. And I used this paper in many, many ways. It's a great ledge for, you know, just sitting pictures on, whatever. Yeah, I love that. And I tend to use this paper. This isn't my first time using it. All up, completely, all up. I use every scrap. This one is going to go in my color categories because this is okay. I prefer this side, and it's going to go in my color category. I'm not a big fan of these splotches, but I love this. So it's going to go with my Vicki Boutin. I like this, but I love this more. And I have a section that is just text, and that's going to go in my text section. I have used this paper for the houses at the bottom. I fussy cut those out. And this I'm going to put with my color categories. I love this paper. Love it, love it, love it. I also like the ledger on the back, but I love this side more. I think I can get more use out of that side. It's going with my Vicki Boutin papers. This one is just okay. I like this, but it looks very vintagey to me. That's going to go with my vintage papers. This is going to go with my color categories because this is just okay. I prefer this side. This one, it's very Vicky, but I'm not as fond of it as I am the ledger, and that is going to go with my ledgers. Love this way more than this. So this is going to go with my ledgers. These pencils, I like this side more than this side. So this is going to be 2 pieces that I'm going to just put with my ledgers. And then at some point in time, because my ledger category is becoming bigger than what I want it to be, I'm going to have to go through it and decide what I really want to do with that. So this is cool. I like it, but I think I like the color better, the gray. So we're going to stick it with my color categories. This text, I love it way more than this, so it's going with my text. And we've got 2 of those, so let's stick those together. And we already know about this one, and I'm going to find the first one and stick those together. So this pink is pretty, and we have a ledger, and I just talked about my ledger as becoming fuller than I want it to. I'm going to stick with the pink and put it in my color category. We have a nice grid here, and then we have a nice book page, and I believe I love the grid more. That's going to go, so my grid and my ledgers go together. And I think this paper pad is going to force me to make some decisions about my ledgers. I love this. This is going with my Vicky Boot. I've already used this, I think, 2 different, I know just recently I used it with my June collection obsession, and I've used it one other time a year or so ago. I love this. I love it. So we have this nice tone on tone, and then we have a good grid. I like this grid better. This yellow text, I stinking love it way more than I love the grid. I loved using it, and that's going to go with my text. Okay, so we have cleaned out that paper pad. I'm super, super proud of digging into this because it was a new purchase. It was an impulse buy, and now I have used it. I used over half of it, and I've got it separated now into categories that will give me the likelihood of using it more. And I think I bumped my camera or something because we are askew. Okay, that is going to be thrown away. So these are my Vicky Boot papers. I went ahead and made a separate pile for my ledger and grid. So those are them. And I need to go ahead and separate out the text because it has a different category. This goes with my grid. This goes with vintage, and everything else is color. Yeah, that's vintage. These are color, and these are text. So I have a plan for these the way they are. Okay, setting those aside. I'm going to pause, grab something else to go through, and then we're going to talk about something that's been on my mind for a bit. Okay, so what did I do when I was paused? Well, I'll tell you. The things that I had separated with you, I went ahead and put them up, because if you have a large room and you have a pile or you leave something out, it's like, oh, how cute. This is a working room, and I'm working. In my room, because my space is small, if I leave things out, it looks like we need to call FEMA because a disaster has happened. I need to put things away quickly. Now, that's also for my personality. I like to have things just put where they belong. And I like to have designated spaces so that there are places to put things. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do, as we talk about some things that I've discovered while I'm traveling, is I am getting ready, and I thought I would take you along with me to get ready. I need to create a traveler's notebook because we are about to leave in just over 2 weeks. No, now it's just under 2 weeks. We're about to leave on a wonderful trip. Uh, and these are the things that I have been purchasing for about a year and a half for this trip. I signed up to do a Vicky Booten cruise around in the Mediterranean. So before we do the Mediterranean cruise portion, we are going to spend a week in Italy. And I'm super excited. Very, very, very excited. Cannot wait to get this. I'm sorry. I can tell I'm askew again. I can't wait. My husband and I were talking last night. I was telling him about the journaling our trip so that when I'm back with our photos and we start printing them, that I have a memory written down for each day of what we've done. I like this format. This is an Echo Park Traveler's Notebook. It is a by the month. What I like about it is that you have a place to journal. You have like highlights of things that it's a to-do list normally. But I was looking at this as a place to place photos, some journaling, and then like little highlights of places we visited. So that, and then it just goes through all the way through 31. Now, we're going in June, of course, and we will be home by the 23rd. So I don't need every single page, but it gives me room if I need more than one page for a day. So I want to dress this up. Let's look to see what I have. I went all in on this Simple Vintage C's from Simple Stories a couple of years ago. And our dear Karen from Yes Please Paper Crafts, I ordered flair from her that went with this color scheme that I could use. So I ordered that, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so. So I have some flair. And then from Scrap and Happy Studio, I have these canvas flair buttons. I have some stamps. Now this is from the Vintage Stories, a Simple Vintage C's. No, I believe this is from 49 Market. I didn't keep the branding, so who knows? It's from somewhere. I have 2 packs of ephemera that we all know I don't need that, but I will probably not use 2 packs. And then I have these layered chipboard clusters. I have this from Mente, and I have already used this. I got this at a Stamp and Scrapbook Expo and thought it would go well with this, and it does. See the color schemes? They work well together. And then I have the sticker book from Simple Stories. I can't remember where these came from. More from Yes Please Paper Crafts. 2 more. So I've just been throwing in this kit every time I come across something that would work. I threw it in here. This is from come on, brain. The Scrap Room Flavors of the Month kit. So I had gotten some more of this from that kit. And then I have the foam stickers. I have a little bit. I think I bought the entire collection. So let's just look through them. Let's just look through them. And some of these papers are going to be duplicated because I got them from the Scrap Room. But I think I bought the entire collection. I'm not positive now. I'm doubting myself. Because parts of me think that I just bought certain papers in the collection. Because I'm not seeing the title page, the title sheet. So it has a very distinct color scheme. And these are the papers that I got, the cardstock that I got from the Scrap Room. And then, like I said, you know, there's going to be some duplications. I need to take this out. Don't need that in there. This is from Chamel, Never Grow Up. Thought it would work. And then I bought some from Mente, Mediterranean heaven because, hello, I'm going to be in the Mediterranean. We'll go back to that one. This is from Prima, the Capri collection. And these are just for the days that, you know, it just brings in some more color. So this is from Paper House. It was from a paper pad, and I pulled out the things that had to do with Italy. Not all of this is Italy, but there's pieces in here that I could use if I chose. And none of this goes with this. These were just stuck in the wrong place, because I do that sometimes. Yeah, these are just stuck in the wrong place. This is just part of my travel category, period. Let's do away with those. Back to Capri. I thought these would work. Make some good backgrounds. I like that. And then we have this paper pad from Die Cuts with a View that's Beach House that I don't think I will be able to use all of it, but I think some of it will work with the color scheme, you know, the red, the blue, and then the peachy tones. I think some of this will just work. Like this could be a day at the ocean, a day at sea. And there's all of these lovely neutrals that can be used as backgrounds that I'm very, very pleased with. So that's why this paper pad has been brought in. I'll never use that. But typically, you know, if you have a really icon heavy page, you've got a very neutral page on the back or something that can be used as a background. And that is all of that. So these are the things that I've collected to scrapbook these 2 weeks that we're going to be gone. And I think it's definitely enough. It's probably more than enough. So we're going to look at decorating our traveler's notebook. So if you've watched Lel Concar, you know she's a list maker. And one of the things I wanted to do is have a list of what we're going to pack. And, you know, a list of the things that we needed to do to get ready, like check in on the cruise ship, check in online for our flights, put the dogs in doggy daycare, you know, all of the things that we've had to do to get ready to start this memory, because this traveler's notebook is also going to be a memory keeping mechanism for this trip. This is my first time out of North America. I have never been out of North America, so I'm super excited about it. And I want to document everything, the entire trip. Okay, so I'm going to pick out some papers to do my cover, because we are going to redo that. This is not very Mediterranean at all. And I think I want to use my Prima paper for the cover. And while I'm just kind of looking around and trying to figure things out, I wanted to talk about these things that keep going through my head as I'm traveling for work. I bring with me some scrapbooking, especially if I'm driving. If I'm driving to a location, it's much easier to pack. If I'm flying, it becomes a little more complicated. But one of the things I've learned, because I just collect, trying to decide if I want that. I think I do. So that's my cover. Yeah. I collect some projects and photos, and I really don't have an idea of what goes together. I'm not going that far. I'm just grabbing photos and the projects that I need to work on for that month, and some supplies to make that work, make it happen. And I discovered that the paper doesn't matter because I have scrapped some fall photos and was able to go through the papers that I had taken with me and make the fall photos work with that paper. Does that make sense? They were not sold as fall themed papers, but they had colors in them that worked with fall photos. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And I had birthday photos that I was able to find brighter papers to make it really work with a birthday layout. And for a person who has worked so hard at categorizing my room and having things separated, and the caveat to that is I do that so that it's easy to find. Like when I'm working on a project and I want something specific, I know where I put it. But in the grand scheme of things, if you had just a tiny inventory and needed to pull papers, it goes back to what Janet of RTS says, mood and feel. You can make the mood work with the papers that you have. So whatever is going on in your photos, you can find papers that it will work with. And I once that kind of really sunk in my head, I was flabbergasted. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is this really happening to me? Is this for real? So before I would share this idea with you, because I've talked to this out with some friends, and we've laughed about it because they know how I am. I've tried it for several weeks now, and it keeps being a true statement. The paper doesn't matter. So that brings me to thinking I need to stop focusing on these very, very themey collections, because I can make work anything, basically. As long as I have a variety of colors and moods in. Let me back up and say this. So I've often said that working in seasons works for my brain type because it houses the holidays, the special memories, everything of that's happening in that season. And I'm able to make that work because there's a color grouping for each season that designers pretty much adhere to. So I found my center point. I'm doing that. Now I'm going to take my score board and score 1/4 off of each, a 1/4 of an inch off each side, so that I have a fold, room to grow with my my spine. So that's why I'm doing that. Anyway, so in the seasons I work with a color grouping, basically. So spring is pastels and they're pale colors, and summer becomes a little more saturated, fall becomes more muted, and then winter's the cooler tones, and fall is very warm. You know what I'm talking about. You get it. Okay, so I have made my spine, and now I need to decide, yeah, I like that. I need to decide how far up I want my pockets to come. need to give myself a little bit of space up here, an allowance. And I think I want my pockets to start here. Now, if you've ever taken a class with Lil before about these, making these, you know that these are designed to slip on and off and to change out. This one, I think I'm actually going to adhere because I'm not going to change this out. This is going to remain just like this. I've gotten sidetracked again. I don't even remember what we were talking about. And I'm going to put, so I found my center point here where the staples are. And I'm going to put an elastic in this so that it will keep this in place. But what I really need is for the pocket to come up in here. That's what I need. So I'm going to have to trim this off in the middle and then make it so that it will slip on. Anyway, I think I've yammered on about that enough. And I keep hitting my camera with my head. That's what's happening, is I'm hitting this with my head. So I just wanted to float that thought out there and get your opinion. What do you think? Does paper matter? Yes or no? I would love to hear your thoughts. This was revolutionary for me. I have made the comment to Janet before. I feel like she's about 2 to 3 years ahead of me in her evolution, because she'll say things sometimes and I'm like, huh? What? Really? That's really how you feel? And then it starts happening to me and I'm like, oh, that's what she's talking about. I get it now. I get it. So I think I need to go make a triangle from this point down to that point maybe. I may be screwing this up and have to redo this. And if I do, it's okay because I have another piece of paper and it's okay. But we're going to test my theory real quick. Real quick. Have you had those moments that's just been like, where you can feel the world just shifting around you? Because that's how it's felt for me. And traveling for work and taking my hobby with me has definitely, yes, that is what I need. Now, I've got to trim away and fold in each of these sides to fold in, and then I will have my slip cover made. But look at that. Aren't we already just looking so Mediterranean? I'm going to decorate this a little bit, but I need it to be, you know, compact enough to just kind of slip in my bag that I'm carrying with me each day. And this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I'm so excited. Okay. So I want my pocket to be here. I need to trim this portion away because I want the pocket to be there, and then I want this to fold in. That's what I want to do. This I want to trim here. So I'm burnishing that seam, and then that will be what I need to do there. And then this is going to come up and we're going to trim away the excess. And then we'll glue all of that down. So I want to make sure that my spine is still functioning the way I want it to function. You know, as the month goes by and my traveler's notebook gets fatter, that's why I created that 1/2 inch spine, is so that it can grow. So it can grow. There you have it. I'm sorry if this video is taking more time than you want to watch. Look at that, friends. It's like I know what I'm doing. I don't, but it's good to appear like we are sometimes. It is good to just fake it. You know, I need to trim from this side. All right, we're going to adhere things down. Actually, I think I'm going to put that there and hide that way. I think that will look better. And I'm loving this. I'm loving how this is turning out. So do I want the pocket just to be here? Or do I want to be able to tuck under here too? I think I will leave all the tucking spots is what I'm going to do. Then we're going to come along the top and the bottom. And that way I don't have just a ton of things. I don't have anything restricting me. Should have got my baby wipes out before I started this project. But once again, this is, and that way I can tuck back here and use this pocket. Maybe adhere here. Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to find my baby wipes. I'm not sure what I have done with them. Oh, there they are. There they are. So what do you think about this? Making a traveler's journal before your trip. Is this something you would do? Do you like this idea? And I like that it comes together pretty quickly as far as projects go. Tend to get glue everywhere. I don't try to do that. It's just a natural talent I have. There we go. So once that all dries, it's going to be 100% adhered down. And friends, we have made a cover. It will grow and expand, and I'm really excited about that. I don't think, since I glued it in, I don't think I'm going to need the elastic. I think it's going to be okay just like this. And if it turns out that it's not, if that's not okay, I can always add the elastic later. Okay. That, I think, I'm going to play with some stamping probably when I turn this video off and decorate the days that I know that we're going to be gone. And yeah, make those look fun. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, friends. Thank you for joining me for this. I keep putting this dadgum camera. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Come back. We're going to chat again soon. Bye-bye.